The blackness of deep space stretched far and wide, cold and silent. Stars blinked like distant eyes. Among them, a silver ship glided with quiet power. The Earth ship Valkyrie, part of the Human Alliance fleet, was returning from a mapping mission. When they caught something unusual, Commander Aiden Shaw, strong and sharp-minded officer in his early 30s, stared at the blinking red signal on the screen. It pulsed slowly, an emergency beacon, old alien. And not from any known species. "Commander," said Lieutenant Carolyn, turning from the sensor controls. "This signal, it's ancient. It's broadcasting from the silent sector." Aiden's brows tightened. The silent sector was a forbidden region. No ships ever returned from it. It wasn't even officially charted. Some said it was haunted. Others believed it was full of traps left by ancient machines. "Bring us closer," Aiden said. "Full shields. Caution protocols." The Valkyrie obeyed, its engines humming softly. As they neared the source of the signal, the crew gasped. Floating. Before them was a shattered structure the size of a city. A palace of glowing crystal, now cracked and scorched by energy blasts. Broken towers spun slowly in zero gravity. Strange light flickered from inside like ghostly fire. "Scan for life," Aiden ordered. "There's something. Faint. Very weak." "One life form," Kara replied. "Deep inside the central chamber." Aiden stood up. "Prep the landing team. I'm going down." Inside the ruined palace, everything was quiet and eerie. The air was thin but breathable. Giant crystal statues lay shattered. Once beautiful walls were burned and melted by weapons Aiden didn't recognize. His boots crunched softly on the glass-like floor. Then he saw her lying against a fallen pillar. Half covered in her own blood was an alien woman. Her skin was a soft silver blue, glowing faintly. Long white hair flowed like silk. Were torn, revealing strange markings across her arms and neck. She looked noble, otherworldly and incredibly beautiful, but her body was broken. Deep cuts across her side. One leg bent at a bad angle. Yet her eyes, bright violet, were still open. She stared at him. Aiden knelt beside her, gently lifting her head. "You're safe now," he said softly. "I'm Commander Aiden Shaw, human. I'm here to help." She blinked slowly as if trying to understand him. Her voice, though weak, echoed in his mind. "You are not Thalinary." He froze. She was speaking telepathically. "No, I'm from Earth," Aiden said aloud. "You sent a distress signal. We picked it up." Her thoughts came again, clearer now. "They came for me. Viewership. The throne. I am the last." Aiden glanced around. "Let's get you out of here." He lifted her gently. She didn't resist. Her thoughts whispered one last time before she passed out. "Strange. You touched me. But you took nothing." Back on the Valkyrie, the alien princess was rushed to the medical bay. The ship's AI, Mira, did its best to stabilize her. Her body was unlike anything in the database, more advanced, faster healing, but also fragile in strange ways as she slept. Aiden sat nearby, reviewing scans. Kara walked in, holding a data pad. "She's Thalinary," Kara said. "I thought they were just a legend." "They're real," Aiden replied, "and something terrible happened to them." Kara lowered her voice. "Her DNA is insane. She's not just royalty. She might be the last of her kind." Aiden stared at the sleeping figure. Who was she really? Why did she seem so sad? She woke 2 days later, her eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the clean white lights of the Valkyrie. Aiden was there. "You're safe," he said. "We've repaired what we could. You've been out for a while." She sat up slowly, her movements graceful despite her injuries. Then she spoke aloud this time, her voice like soft music. "I am Princess Zalaria of the House Viquar. You have my thanks." "You're welcome," Aiden replied. "You know what happened to your palace?" Zalaria's face turned cold. "It was attacked by Vyrex's, my cousin. He was once noble. Now he is twisted. He is joined with machines. He wanted the throne. And me." Aiden narrowed his eyes. "Why you? Our blood contains the key. A genetic code to control the Thalfleetha, ancient AI guardians of my people. Only a true royal can unlock them. She looked at him closely. And you, human? Why did you save me? Aiden looked confused. Because you needed help. She frowned. No trade. No demand. No price. Aiden smirked. You're not used to kindness, are you? She paused. No. Among my kind, mercy is weakness. He leaned back. Well, among my kind, helping someone in trouble is just what we do. She studied him for a long time, and softly she said something strange. You are unlike any male I've ever met. Later, as the ship moved into safer space, Zalaria explored the Valkyrie. She asked questions about Earth, about human history, about emotion and freedom. She was especially fascinated by music and food things her people saw as distractions. One evening, as she stood on the observation deck, staring at a nearby nebula, Aiden joined her. It's beautiful, he said. Yes, she replied, but not as strange as you. He laughed. Me? You are strong, she said, but you do not dominate. You command, but with care. You lead, but you listen. You confuse me? He chuckled. I get that a lot. She turned to him, serious now. On my world, males compete for power. They crave status, but you act without seeking gain. I do not understand it. He looked at her gently. Ow. Maybe. That's what makes us human. She was silent for a long time. Then, without looking at him, she whispered, I wish I could marry someone like you, human. Aiden blinked. What? She shook her head. It is not allowed. Not by our laws. Not by our blood. It is just a thought. A strange dream. Aiden smiled softly. Well, sometimes dreams come true. Behind them, the stars shimmered. But far away, in the cold shadows of space, something dark was hunting them. A cloaked ship, carrying Virix's mark, followed quietly, tracking the last princess of the Thelnari, and the human who dared protect her. The halls of the Earth ship Valkyrie were quiet. Outside the windows, stars drifted by slowly. Inside, tension was growing. Princess Zalaria walked through the ship's command deck in silence. Her long silver hair was tied back, her glowing eyes calm but alert. The more time she spent with the humans, the more questions filled her mind. Her people, the Thalonari, were dying, and Earth didn't even know. They had just stepped into a genetic war. Commander Aiden Shaw stood with Lieutenant Kara and a group of officers discussing the situation. Her DNA is the key? Kara asked, still surprised. Yes, Aiden replied, crossing his arms. She said her bloodline controls something called the Thal Fleet. We're talking about a massive AI army hidden somewhere in space. Kara shook her head. Why would her own people attack her? Power, Aiden answered, her cousin. Virix wants that fleet. If he gets it, he could take over half the galaxy. Suddenly, the doors opened. Zalaria stepped in. You are correct, she said, her voice calm. Virix has already taken the Crystal Colonies and the Moon Clans. He's growing stronger every day? Kara looked confused. So what happens if he gets you? Zalaria looked straight at Aiden. Then he wins. Later, in a private room aboard the ship, Zalaria showed Aiden something no other human had ever seen. She placed a small silver device on the table. It glowed and projected a star map in the air. Hundreds of glowing dots spread across its locations, of Thalonari strongholds both destroyed and hidden. These are what's left of my empire, she said softly. All that remains of my people. Aiden studied the map. What's that red zone? That is where the Thal fleet sleeps. She said, 10,000 warships, still waiting, still loyal to the bloodline. He looked at her, and only you can wake them. Yes, she said, but the price is control. Whoever connects to the fleet becomes part of it. A living mind for a sleeping army. Aiden's eyes narrowed. And Virix wants to use you as a puppet. She nodded. He will bind me too. The core. He will control my body, my voice, my thoughts. Aiden clenched his jaw. We can't let that happen. She turned to him, her face serious. you still do not understand what you are part of. This is not just about one throne. If Virax activates the fleet, he will destroy every world he cannot rule. She stepped closer. Even Earth. The next day, the Valkyrie docked at Delta Station, a hidden human outpost near the border of Thalanary space. The crew hoped to repair the ship and gather supplies, but trouble followed them. Unknown to the crew, Virix's spies had already infected the station's systems. While the crew relaxed, a silent virus unlocked hangar doors, shut down defenses, and sent a signal deep into space. They were being watched that night. Aiden and Zalaria sat together in the ship's garden dome. Artificial sunlight warmed the air, and the scent of real flowers grown from Earth's soil surrounded them. Zalaria touched the petals of a red rose with wonder. "We have nothing like this on my world," she said. "Everything is built for purpose. Beauty is rare." Aiden smiled. "We build things just because they're beautiful, because they remind us of peace." She turned to him. "You are a strange species, and you are even stranger." He raised an eyebrow. "Thanks, I guess." She looked away, thoughtful. "I keep thinking about what I said before. I wish I could marry someone like you." Aiden's heart skipped. "I remember." Zalaria took a breath. "It was more than just words. Among my people, we cannot choose who we love. Bloodlines decide everything. We are prisoners of our own genes." Aiden frowned. "That sounds awful." "It is all we know," she said. "But you choose. Freely, you laugh, you love, you fight not for power, but for each other." She looked into his eyes. "It is beautiful and terrifying." Aiden spoke quietly. "You're not a prisoner anymore, Zalaria. You're with us now. With me." Smiled softly. "Then I must learn what it means to be free." Suddenly, alarms echoed through the station. "Enemy ships incoming." Kara's voice shouted through comms. 3 destroyers, no ID, no response. Zalaria froze. "Virax." Aiden stood up fast. To the bridge, they rushed through the halls as the station shook. Explosions lit up the sky outside. Virix's ships had arrived. It wasn't just an attack, it was a kidnapping mission. Virix's elite drones landed inside the station. Fast, tall machines with sharp limbs and glowing eyes. They cut through doors and walls, heading straight for one target, Zalaria. Aiden and his team fought hard plasma rifles, grenades, close combat, but the machines were too strong. In the chaos, one of the drones grabbed Zalaria and began to fly away with her. Aiden chased it through the fire and falling debris. He jumped onto the machine midair, punching and shooting until it dropped. They both crashed to the ground hard. Zalaria cried out, "You're hurt!" Aiden's arm was bleeding, but he stood. "I've had worse." They ran together, back to the ship. As the Valkyrie lifted off, Kara fired the railguns. One enemy ship exploded. The others retreated for now, back in orbit. Silence fell. Zalaria sat beside Aiden in the medbay, wrapping his arm with bandages. Her hands shook slightly. "You risked your life," she said quietly. "For me." Aiden smiled weakly. "You're worth it." She looked into his eyes. "You don't know what that means to me?" Then she took a deep breath. "Aiden, I'm going to break our laws." He blinked. "What do you mean?" She leaned closer. "If we survive this, if I take back the throne, I will rewrite our rules." He stared at her. "I will make it so that blood does not rule love," she said. "So that a Thalanary can choose her own future, her own partner." She placed a hand on his cheek. "So that I can choose you." But far across the stars, in the hidden systems of the Thal fleet, alarms were flashing. Virix had found something. A second DNA match, not pure royalty, but compatible, hybrid, human, modified. His scientist smiled. "He won't expect this," Virix whispered. "Let the human come. We'll give him exactly what he wants." The Valkyrie floated quietly in deep space. It was hidden behind an asteroid belt, its engines powered down, its lights dimmed to avoid detection. Inside, the crew was tense. They had escaped Vyrix 4 now. Commander Aiden Shaw stood in the strategy room, his injured arm wrapped tightly, his eyes focused on the glowing hologram in front of him. Princess Zalaria stood beside him, dressed in a dark blue robe given to her by the crew. Her silver-blue skin glowed faintly in the shadows, her long white hair tied back, but her eyes were not tired. They were burning with something new purpose. "The Thal fleet rests here," she said, pointing to a distant star system. "In the ruins of the Cradle World. It's hidden under the ice of a dead moon, protected by ancient AI guardians. If I can reach it before Vyrix, I can bind it to me." Aiden stared at the map. "And if Vyrix gets there first?" Zalaria's voice was firm. "He will enslave it, and then use it to destroy Earth." The room fell silent. Kara spoke from the side. "So, we race him?" "No," Aiden said. "We stop him, and we finish this." The next day, the Valkyrie jumped through hyperspace toward the Cradle system. Every crew member knew what was at stake. They had seen Vyrix's drones. They had nearly lost their commander, and now they were flying straight into the center of a galactic war. Zalaria stood on the bridge, watching the stars flash by. Aiden walked up beside her. "You sure you're ready?" he asked. She nodded. "I was born for this. Meant to do it alone." He looked at her carefully. "You're not alone." She turned toward him. "You remind me of the ancient myths of my people. Stories of outsiders who brought light to our darkest days." Aiden smiled slightly. "I'm just a man with a ship, a crew, and a lot of bad luck." She leaned closer. "No, Aiden Shaw. You are the first man I've met who made me want to fight. Not just for duty, but for hope." Aiden swallowed his emotion. "And I'll keep fighting, as long as I'm breathing." For a moment, nothing existed between them but the space of one heartbeat. Then the ship's AI Mira broke the silence. "We are approaching the Cradle system. Enemy ships detected." The Cradle system was a graveyard of planets. Every world was broken, stripped, or destroyed. In the center was a frozen moon, the resting place of the Thal fleet. As the Valkyrie dropped out of hyperspace, Vyrix's ships appeared. 10 black destroyers. 1 massive carrier. Countless drones. Aiden's crew gasped. "They got here first," Kara said. "They're digging into the moon." Zalaria clenched her fists. "They're waking the fleet." Can't turn to her. "Can we stop it?" She nodded. "Yes. But I must reach the core chamber before Vyrix links his code." Aiden tapped his cum. "Launch drop pods. Prepare for surface entry. We go down now." The battle on the frozen moon was chaos. Drop pods slammed into the ice, breaking through layers of crystal and ancient metal. Aiden and Zalaria led a strike team through twisted tunnels of alien design. Vyrexes, drones, attacked from every direction, spinning. Blades, plasma weapons. Sonic blasts, but the human soldiers fought hard. Aiden moved like a storm, precise, fast, fearless. Zalaria fought beside him, her royal training clear in every motion. With a glowing staff pulled from her palace ruins, she disabled machines with quick strikes and focused energy. "Left tunnel," Kara shouted. "Go now." They ran deeper into the moon. The ground shook beneath them, said where far below, something ancient was waking up. In the core chamber, Vyrix stood tall in his black armor, surrounded by his cyber-enhanced guards. His eyes glowed red. His body was no longer fully organic. Parts of his skin had been replaced with shining silver and dark cables. Before him, massive throne-like structure pulsed with golden light. It was the command nexus, the brain of the Thal fleet. He reached toward it. Suddenly, alarms blared. "Intruders," one of his guards said. Vyrix's voice was cold. "Let them come. I want her to see me win." Aiden and Zalaria reached the edge of the core chamber. He looked down from a high platform. "There he is," Aiden whispered. Vyrix turned to face them. "Sister," he said, voice twisted by. "Machinery. You brought your pet." Aiden aimed his rifle. "Careful, this pet bites." Vyrix laughed. "Ah, human bravery. Charming. Pointless." He stepped closer to the nexus. Zalaria called out, "If you link to that core, it will destroy you." The system was made for thalinary DNA, pure blood. Vyrix smiled. "Oh, dear sister, that's the secret. I am no longer just thalinary." He held up a metal tube. "I modified myself. With human genes, from your little commander here." Aiden froze. "What?" Vyrix grinned. "Remember when you bled during the last attack? My drone took your blood. I needed only a drop. Your kind is surprisingly useful." Inserted the tube into the Nexus port. "Now, watch." The core pulsed red. The entire moon began to shake. Deep below, ships huge, ancient, and terrible awakened. The Thal fleet was rising. Aiden looked at Zalaria. "Can you stop it?" She stared. In horror. "If he finishes the link, the fleet will obey him. Then we stop him first." Aiden jumped down to the lower level, guns blazing. Zalaria followed, leaping through the air like lightning. Vyrix's guards charged. Human soldiers clashed. With them, explosions lighting up the chamber, Aiden and Vyrix collided in a storm of fists, blades, and fury. Sparks flew. Blood spilled. Metal cracked. "You're not stronger than me," Vyrix hissed. Aiden grunted. "Maybe not, but I don't fight alone." Zalaria reached the Nexus. She placed her hand on a glowing panel. Her blood activated a second. "Link," the system screamed. "Warning," a deep voice echoed. "Multiple DNA patterns detected. Act core conflict imminent." Vyrix shouted, "You can't win, Zalaria. This system is mine." She looked at him, calm. "No, it belongs to the people, and I will free it." She opened her mind to the Nexus. Memories of her ancestors filled the chamber voices, songs. Old wars, hopes. The throne accepted her. Suddenly the core turned blue. Ships outside stopped moving. Then a new voice echoed from the Nexus. "Royal override accepted. Primary control restored. Awaiting command. Queen Zalaria." Vyrix screamed. He lunged, but Aiden was faster. With one final shot, Aiden fired straight into Vyrix's chest. The corrupted prince fell, sparks bursting from his heart. He was gone. The battle ended. Outside, the great ships of the Thal fleet circled above the moon, peaceful and silent. They waited, ready to defend, not conquer. Zalaria stood on the platform, her body glowing with the light of the Nexus. "It is done," she said softly. "The throne is mine, but I will not be a queen of war. I will be the first ruler of peace." She turned to Aiden. "Because of you." He smiled. "Glad I could help." She stepped closer. "No," she said. "You did more than help. You showed me what freedom means, what love could be." He looked at her, speechless. She touched his face. "I will rewrite the laws. I will open the stars. When that is done, I will return to you. Because now, I don't just wish I could. Marry someone like you, human, ... She smiled softly. "I wish to marry only you." Peace had returned for now. The Thal fleet, once the most feared war machine in the galaxy, now hovered quietly around the frozen moon. 10,000 ships waited, no longer to destroy, but to protect. Their loyalty had shifted. Their queen had risen. Queen XEL Aria.as was not ready for her. The Valkyrie slowly cruised into Earth space after weeks of travel. The human crew, tired and quiet, watched from the windows as the blue planet came into view. Commander Aiden Shaw stood beside Queen Zalaria on the main deck. She wore her new ceremonial armor, sleek silver plates with glowing lines of blue and white, her royal crest on the chest, even in silence. She looked powerful, but Aiden knew what waited down there. Fear. Earth doesn't trust easily, Aiden warned. They'll question everything, especially now that you have a war fleet behind you. Zalaria nodded slowly. "I understand. They fear power they cannot control." He looked at her. "We're not here to conquer, but they don't know you. Like I do." She gave him a sad smile. "Then help them know me," soon as the ship landed at the Earth Alliance base in Geneva. They were met by armed guards and officials in black uniforms. General Marcus Dorn stood at the front, tall and stern. His gray hair and battle-hardened face showed no emotion. "Commander Shaw," he said, "you return with an alien queen and 10,000 warships." Aiden replied firmly, "She saved Earth, sir. Without her, Varix would have wiped us out." Dorn's eyes narrowed. "And now she sits on a throne that controls one of the largest AI fleets in the galaxy." Zalaria stepped forward. "I did not come to threaten. I came to speak." Dorn crossed his arms. "We'll see. For now, you and your fleet are under observation. Any sudden moves, and Earth responds." Aiden tensed. Zalaria simply nodded. "I accept your terms, but understand this. I will not bow to fear. I am not here to be controlled. I am here to offer peace."
Ash.
Over the next few days, Zalaria stayed in Earth's secure diplomatic quarters. She attended meetings, answered questions, and remained calm even when officials accused her of hiding weapons or manipulating Aiden. Through it all, Aiden stayed close, speaking in her defense, explaining her actions, and reminding them of the real enemy they had all faced. Still, some leaders were not convinced. "She has too much power," said one senator. "What happens when she changes her mind?" "She's not even human," said another. "What if this is all part of a bigger plan?" General Dorn finally spoke in one private meeting with Aiden. "You're too close to her," Dorn said coldly. "You think with your heart, not your head," Aiden replied. "She risked her life to protect us." Dorn stood. "So did you, and I trust you. But trust isn't policy. We need more than a love story." That night, Zalaria and Aiden stood on a quiet balcony overlooking the city. Lights glowed below. The stars above seemed closer than ever. "They don't believe me," she said softly. "They're afraid," Aiden replied. "They've never seen someone like you. Someone with your power, your beauty, and your heart." Zalaria looked at him. "Do you believe me?" He stepped closer. "I believe in you. That hasn't changed." She looked down. "I thought once I became queen things would be easier, but it only made me a bigger target." Aiden smiled gently. "You weren't made for power. You were made for something better." She turned to him. "What's that?" "To give people hope." She stepped closer. Their hands touched. "Even when I sit on a throne, my heart sits beside you." And she kissed him. But not everyone watched from a distance. On a hidden moon in deep space, a new figure rose. A Thalinary exile named Seth Ravel, a former general. Under Virix, had escaped the core war. He had taken a group of corrupted AI minds and vanished into the outer stars. Now, he had returned with a plan. "Zalaria is weak," Sethra whispered to his machines. "She rules with mercy, but war only respects strength." Revealed a stolen copy of the Nexus code part of the Thalfleet-S control system, and he had a target Earth back on Earth. Aiden received the report first. Unauthorized ships. "Detected in the Kuiper Belt," Kara said urgently over comms. "It's unknown design, Thalinary signature, stealth class. At least 4. Aiden rushed to Zalaria's room. "We've got trouble." She met his eyes instantly. "How close?" "Too close. They're hiding." Zalaria activated her neural crown, a small device that allowed her to communicate with parts of the Thal fleet across space. A moment later, her face went pale. "They carry corrupted code," she said. "They are not mine." Aiden's jaw tightened, so it begins. Earth scrambled to prepare. Defense satellites came online. Fleet Command launched warships from orbit. Cities went into lockdown/XELaria sent a message to the corrupted ships. "I am Queen, Zalaria of the Thalinori. You are acting outside all protocols. Stand down." There's no response. Then a broadcast from Sethra himself filled the screen. "You are not my queen," he hissed. "You are a mistake. You rule with weakness. I bring the true will of our people." His ship-powered weapons. Aiden turned to Zalaria. "We fight." The battle above Earth was short but brutal. Sethra's stealth Ships attacked the orbital defenses first. Earth ships took heavy hits, but Zalaria's royal fleet responded fast, sleek. Intelligent cruisers appearing from deep space. They fought with precision and unity, disabling the corrupted ships one by one. But Sethra had one last trick. He sent a virus directly into Earth's orbital command, disrupting comms. Satellites causing panic. Xelaria placed both hands on her crown. "I can stop it," she said, "but I must connect directly. My mind will touch the corrupted code." Aiden grabbed her arm. "That's dangerous," she smiled. "You once told me freedom is choosing your own path. I choose this." She connected. Inside the digital battlefield, Zalaria faced a storm of broken thoughts and corrupted memories. Sethra's voice echoed through her mind. "You are no queen. You are soft." But she answered with truth, with unity, with strength born not from fear, but from love. And one by one, she burned the virus away. The sky cleared. Sethra's last ship exploded in orbit. Earth was safe. After the battle, silence returned. But not cold silence, peaceful silence. The Earth Alliance Council held a final vote. With Aiden standing proudly beside her, Zalaria was named Earth's official interstellar ally, and the Thal fleet was registered as a defensive protectorate. Not an invading force, people began to see her not as a threat, but as a symbol of unity. And when Zalaria returned to the Valkyrie, she met Aiden alone in the ship's garden dome once more. This time, no alarm sounded, no warnings, just starlight. "I meant what I said," she told him, "that I wish to marry only you." Aiden took her hands. "Then say it again." "Love you, Aiden Shaw. Not as a queen, not as an alien, just as someone found a home in your heart." It had been 3 months since the battle above Earth. 3 months since Seth Ravel's rebellion was crushed. 3 months since Queen Zalaria saved the human race and opened her heart to one man from Earth. Now, everything had changed. The galaxy was watching. News of a human and an alien queen standing side by side had spread across systems like wildfire. For some, it was hope. For others, fear. But no one could ignore it anymore. Peace was here. But peace was fragile in love. Love was about to be tested. Commander Aiden Shaw stood on the balcony of Earth's International Embassy on Luna Base, Earth's moon. He wore a dark ceremonial suit, freshly cleaned, but uncomfortable. His collar felt too tight, his boots too polished. He looked out at Earth below, bright and blue. He sighed. "You look like you'd rather face another war," a voice said behind him. He turned. Kara stood in her officer uniform, arms crossed, smiling. "I would," he admitted. "You're nervous." "Not nervous." Kara smirked. "You're marrying an alien queen in front of 12 planets and over 600 species watching live?" "Yeah, totally not nervous." Aiden rubbed the back of his neck. "What if they hate it? What if they say it's wrong?" Kara walked up to him and patted his shoulder. "Then let them. You're not marrying them. You're marrying her." On the other side of the moon base, Queen Zalaria stood in a white and silver gown that shimmered like starlight. Her crown rested lightly on her head, her attendants a mix of Thalanari and humans, just at her robes and jewelry. But Zalaria didn't feel like a queen today. She felt like a woman. In love, she touched the small pendant around her neck, a simple gift Aiden had given her weeks ago. It held no royal jewels, just a tiny earth flower pressed inside glass to her. It was worth more than all the fleets in space. "A Thalanari elder entered the room, Your Majesty," she said. "It is time." Zalaria nodded. She took one last breath. "Let's begin." Ceremony was held in the Unity Hall, an enormous glass chamber with a view of space behind the altar. Diplomats, soldiers, alien ambassadors, and civilians filled the seats. While live broadcasts covered every moment, some were curious, some were amazed. Others were angry, but none of them could look away as the music began. Aiden walked out onto the platform first, standing tall. His crew Kara, Myra, now in a synthetic body, and even some of Earth's high officers sat behind him. Then came Zalaria. She walked slowly, confidently, glowing like a star. Every eye turned to her, and when she met Aiden's gaze, everything else disappeared. A holographic officiator from the Earth Alliance began the vows. Today, two souls from two worlds join not just in love, but in unity. He turned to Aiden. Do you, Commander Aiden Shaw, take Queen Zalaria of Thalanori to stand beside you, not as ruler and soldier, but as partner in heart? Aiden nodded. With everything I am. Then the officiator turned to Zalaria. And do you, Queen Zalaria, take this human not as subject, but as your equal, your friend, your chosen love? Zalaria looked into Aiden's eyes. I do. All my stars, they held hands, their fingers locked. And with a soft hum, two small glowing bands appeared on their wrists, Thalanari bonding symbols. Activated only by pure intent. The crowd stood. Some clapped. Others cried. A few refused to move, but none could deny it. This was history. Later that night, after the formal greetings, the interviews, and the endless questions, Aiden and Zalaria escaped to the observation deck of the Valkyrie. It was quiet. Just them and the stars. You okay? He asked. She smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. For the first time in my life, I am more than okay. You know, Aiden said, there's still a lot of people out there who don't accept this. I know, she said, and some think you gave up your traditions. She looked up. They forget. A tradition that never grows is just a cage. I didn't give anything up. I gained something. He smiled. A human husband? A reason to build a better galaxy. They kissed softly. No war, no drama, just peace. But peace does not protect itself. A week after the wedding, reports came in from the edge of Thalanari space. A splinter group of old loyalists refused. To accept Zalaria's marriage, they declared her impure. It's unfit to rule. They had weapons, ships, and anger. The Earth Alliance expected Zalaria to respond with force. She didn't. She responded with truth. She sent a message across all networks. To those who still believe blood decides power, I ask you, has blood ever loved you back? I married a human not because I had to, but because he reminded me that leadership is not about domination, but connection. I will not rule with fear. I will rule with hope. If you cannot accept peace, you will face justice. But if you are simply afraid, come, speak to me. I will not close the door on my own people. Some still resisted, but more came to her, one by one. The hate began to quiet. Months passed. Zalaria and Aiden traveled across star systems together. They rebuilt ancient cities, brought together species once divided. Opened schools where alien children and human children studied side by side. Earth learned Thalanari tech. Thalanari learned human stories. And across it all, one image kept showing upon murals, flags, sculptures, a queen with silver blue skin, a man in black armor, beside her, and two hands, always holding. On their first anniversary, they returned to the same observation deck. Zalaria looked at Aiden. Do you regret it? Giving up Earth's command? He smiled. Not for a second. I sometimes still wonder if this galaxy is ready for us, she said softly. Maybe not, Aiden replied. But we didn't wait for it to be ready. We made it ready. He took her hand. So what's next? She turned toward the stars. Next, she said, we build a home where no one has to choose between love and duty, between war and peace, between species and after that. She smiled. Maybe children. Aiden blinked. She laughed gently. Don't worry. I'll give you time. And he laughed too, far beyond the stars. Somewhere deep in uncharted space, old enemies watched. They saw the new power rising from Earth and Thalanari, a power not of weapons, but of love. They would plan, they would wait. But they had already lost one thing, the fear. Because now the galaxy knew. Humanity was not weak. Love was not a weakness. and a single bond between two hearts had changed the stars forever.